Jenell, and know that platform can go up and down with the button on the right, and if you'd pull the microphone real close to you so the folks at home can hear you, we'd appreciate it. And you'll have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Senate and committee members. As an educator, an advocate, and an adoptive mother, I have witnessed firsthand the challenges faced by vulnerable children like my adopted daughter, Grace. She was placed in DCS custody against our family's wishes because of issues she faced before we adopted her. Every time she has went missing, my heart breaks, and I'm haunted by a fear of what dangers she may face. Grace is grappling with considerable changes, coping with hallucinations, anxiety, and other mental health issues. On November 4th, Grace went missing from a Mesa group home. The failures in response contributed to the severity of her subsequent ordeal. My husband and I were not notified for 48 hours, creating an unacceptable gap in response time. Key steps such as contacting the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, notifying law enforcement within 24 hours, and obtaining other crucial information was neglected. All these things that have been on the law for a very long time. Grace was found on November 8th in Quartzsite, Arizona, 144 miles away. She had endured horrendous crimes, including being beaten, raped, and drug-induced trauma that had lasted for 4 days. The abuser lived in the group home with her. She not only assaulted Grace, but facilitated the victimization of other teens in DCS care. The failure to conduct a proper investigation allowed her to take 2 more children and try to take them to her trafficker that very night. If the law would have been followed, this would not have happened. The urgency of this matter cannot be overstated. Every moment lost is a moment where a child's safety hangs in the balance. This bill offers a critical opportunity to address these systematic failures. This law must pass. We need to follow it. All these laws, again, have been in existence for a long time, but failure to abide by the laws allow children to get raped and killed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm interested in what else you might have there that you haven't finished. Please, if you haven't completed.
At the end, I just said our children's lives depend on this. The safety and the well-being for children that have been placed in DCS care is of the utmost importance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions for our guest?
Just a real quick question. So you're comfortable with the guardrails that have been put in place?
I believe it's a start. As an educator and a child care provider, it amazes me that if I would do that as a licensed child care facility, any of these things, I would be on national news. But the things that happen to these children in DCS custody are horrible. And as an educated person who works with children, I just cannot believe it.
Yeah, and to that point, yeah, I mean, I've experienced things within the DCS system that are horrendous, and I am not going to sit here and think that a bill is going to correct their problem, DCS's problem. I think that once we take away money, because it's all about money, and if we were to take DCS's money away, if they did not follow the statutes that they're supposed to follow, then you might get their attention.
Right.
But I'm not convinced right now, and I'm trying to get some convincing on my part, on, just in conversation here, that a report to the Senate and a report to the House, a lot of bills do that. I don't even know how many of these reports are even read by our own chambers. So we're making more law, and that's why I'm asking you guys, because you're in this, about the system more than I do. And if you're comfortable, I'm comfortable. But again,
I believe it's a start, sir. I think a lot more needs to be done, but I think the problem is nobody wants the oversight. And if too much is put in the bill, then the governor's going to veto it. So I feel that we're walking a line in it, and it's at the expense of our children because people don't want to be accountable. Thank
And
you.
if I may, before you leave, I've been asked to be the new co-chair of the DCS Oversight Committee, and we plan to take that very seriously. And I would like to give you a personal invitation to come and discuss with me personally and to the Oversight Committee, because I appreciate your testimony, and I have said in the past that I believe that DCS was the worst example of any government agency and that they were doing more harm than good. Now, I'm encouraged by what appears to be some improvements recently, but I don't want to be confused by being too close. As I say, we're meeting every Thursday, and I feel optimistic we're making progress. So I like your comment that this bill is not the solution. It's part of the solution. It's a beginning.
Yes.
So I hope we can
Yes.
stay in touch, please.
Anything, I'm more than willing to help.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Run for office.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.